Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I am not out and about. I'm in deep consultation with myself. I'm thinking, what was farming like 100 years ago? That's what I want to explore. You see, I've been, as you may know if you've been following this channel for a while, I've been thinking about buying some land and growing my own vegetables. I've been on a bit of a journey, a bit of research, trying to work out what's happened to farming since the 1940s. There was this change from the old traditional ways that we'd been farming for 12,000 years to this more intensive farming to try and feed everybody. The worry that food supplies would be stopped and we needed to create as much food as possible. And as a result of that, we were spraying our crops with pesticides and fungicides and all these sort of nasty things. And we were putting artificial fertilizers onto the ground so that certain grasses, perennial ryegrass, for example, would grow more abundantly and we could feed that to our livestock. We didn't do that 100 years ago. We didn't do that, and yet the farms were thriving and the food was full of goodness. And I can't help thinking that something has gone wrong. Now, I've been out, as you may know, and visited a couple of farms and spoken to a couple of local farmers in the area to see what the situation is today, and it's very encouraging. Lovely to see the mixed farming, organic farming over in Slindon and seeing what they're doing, and to see what Lee Dallon was doing at his farm with the set-aside bits of land. And it's really crystallized what I want to do, because originally I just thought I need some land, I need some space, and I'll grow some of my own crops. I'll make sure the soil is all lovely and fertile. I won't use chemicals. I'll do it organically, and surely that would be the best way to get some decent food and I can live, because I've started to not trust the supermarkets. Well, people have been saying to me, but Richard, you don't need to buy land, acres of land. That's incredibly expensive. Why not get an allotment? And I thought, yeah, an allotment, well, you don't get much space in an allotment. And people were saying, yeah, but you don't need that much space. Look, we get all of this. It's plenty enough to feed us. We're all doing fine. Why do you need so much space? And I thought, well, why is it that I need all this space? What is going on in my head? And it's crystallized, as I say. I've actually realized what it is I'm trying to do. I'm into heritage, landscape and nature, and I'm a storyteller and I'm a filmmaker, and all these things are important. And it seems to me that having an allotment is too restrictive for the things I want to do. For example, I would like to grow a species-rich pasture of wildflowers, traditional hay, herbage, and then harvest it. Well, you can't do that on an allotment. You haven't got enough space. How many plots would you need? I might want a whole acre of that. I then want to be able to harvest that with a scythe, non-mechanical. I want to see what farming was like 100 years ago, before tractors. I may want to plough a bit of the land, but I want to plough it with a horse and plough in the traditional way. Perhaps if I grow some crop, a small quantity of barley or oats or wheat, perhaps I need to have a threshing machine to do that, but a traction engine threshing machine with a belt. So I've realized that actually what's been going on in my head with this idea of looking at all of this and trying to grow the food. Yes, I still want to grow the food, but I actually I need the space as a film set, as an experiment, as a location, so that I can try these experiments out. For example, the hay, wouldn't it be fantastic to see how hard and how difficult and how tricky it is, and those old skills of using a scythe, then putting them up into the stooks that the countryside used to see up and down in England, on my quest for England, and then later making a traditional proper haystack. That's where I'm going with this. That's why I need the space. That's why I need 2, 3, maybe 5 acres of space to do all this. And I could put in a dew pond, which would be amazing to see all the various different species that would live in the water, the aquatic things, and some of the flowers and various, the pollinators and things around the dew pond to attract birds and mammals and some of the larger mammals as well, the stoats and the weasels. It would be great to and to have a hide so that you could sit in the hide and watch the nature that is coming in and identify perhaps some rare species and see what you could attract. So it may be that I don't actually need to buy the land. Maybe it's possible to rent a 5-acre field somewhere for 5 years and do these experiments as YouTube videos, placing them on YouTube videos, experiments showing what farming was like, the challenges, and the challenges I have to replicate that as well. So this would be an experiment that might actually also attract students who want to learn about the old ways, people who've got some of those old skills who want to impart them and share them, people who want to get involved. And it may be that it would cost a little bit to do these things, but this as a learning experience would be fantastic. And I'm sure people would be interested in the story of turning a 5-acre field and going back 100 years to pre-1920 and how things used to be. Now, I don't know anything about farming, but there are people who do. I know, for example, my friend Richard Suggett. He has his veg growing podcast. He has his allotment. He grows a lot of vegetables. He's been doing it for over 5 years. He knows his stuff. So I'm sure that there's lots of people I can call on to come and assist with a project like this, so you can have your beds of potatoes and carrots and traditional veg, but there may be some heritage vegetables that we no longer grow, purple carrots for example, that we could also grow, some old kitchen garden herbs that perhaps we no longer grow in any great detail. I know Kim Murden is a herbalist, and I'm sure with a bit of arm twisting she could tell me, well, this is what you need in a herb garden. So imagine this 5-acre field, for the sake of argument, with lots of different areas, with lots of different things going on. So wildflowers, a dew pond, some livestock. If we had some pasture-rich, species-rich pasture with wildflowers, imagine sheep grazing on those. Now, I wouldn't have to buy the sheep. It may be possible that you could either rent the sheep to come in and they go and nibble away at the rich pasture, and in exchange they make their little brown deposits everywhere, but fertilizing the land in the old-fashioned way. So it would be understanding the recycling of the nature of how it's been done in all these years gone by. So this landscape that we would have, maybe we would have some pigs and things like that. I have no idea if this is going to work, if this is feasible, if one could do it. But it's got to be worth a try, isn't it? Because I think people would be interested in comparing that. And anything we grow, anybody who helps can obviously have some of the produce that we make. But I want to share this, not just on video, but share the experience with people coming onto this landscape and learning about it, helping me build a haystack, learning how you get a traction engine to operate a threshing machine, understanding what the history of the threshing machines did to the labourers hundreds of years ago when they originally were working on the land, and finding out more about the history of farming and the type of work that went in. So if this really appeals, I need your help. I've got to find a piece of land. Now, I may have some money, but not a lot of money to put into this. But it may be possible that there is a farmer out there with 3 or 4 acres of land they don't know what to do with, locally in Sussex, and they think, actually, I could give it to this bloke for, or rent it cheaply to this chap for 5 years so that he can go back to farming and run this experiment. If that's you, get in touch. If you've got any comments about how one might do this, or places to go to and people to talk to, or advice to get in touch. Leave a comment. I think the farming of 100 years ago experiment could be really exciting, and these thoughts now have really crystallized, as I keep saying, and I think there's going to be a lot of interest in this. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe, and see how this project evolves over the next however long. We definitely need a 5-year plan, I think, for this piece of land to get the soil fertile and to get the crops going, and lay some hedges in the old-fashioned way, and everything. Anyway, sorry, bit of a burble, but very excited, and I wanted to share this project with you and see where it goes. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you on an update very soon. Bye-bye.